Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yumna and this is my new journal. Let me show you my process. For the paper, I knew that I was going to use my TWSBI Eco fountain pen, so I chose a coated paper by Winsor & Newton. I also used another coated paper that I forgot the name. The first step is to fold the papers in half using a bone folder tool and marking the holes for the binding. For the holes, I use this foam thingy to help with support, and I use my puncher tool to create the holes. I punch one signature at a time, with the signature having 3 spreads. Signatures usually have 7 spreads, but I like to keep them 3 or 4. For the binding, we will need a thread, scissors, and a curved needle. You will see why in just a second. I don't cut usually my threads very long because they always tangle. Let's begin binding. Go through the first hole with your thread from the inside to the outside, and after the second one, the third one, and keep repeating this process until you reach the last one. Once you reach the last hole, repeat the same process backwards by going through the holes one by one. Once you reach the very first hole, it is time to add a new signature. Go through the thread from the first hole to the first hole of the new signature. This is where it gets tricky. Go through the second hole and take your thread under the stitch and over the stitch here and put back your thread in the hole. This stitch will keep the signatures bound together. And keep repeating this process for all the holes of the signature. Then it is time to add our next signature. Here is where the curved needle comes in handy. As you can see here, I'm not touching the first stitches, I'm only taking the thread between the stitch of the first and the second signature. The process of bookbinding can look a bit complicated at first, but trust me, with practice it will get easier. I enjoy this process after the third signature because it gets pretty easier after that. When we reach our last signature, we need to go through the holes, and in the last hole, we need to do a knot at the end. Also, it is better to take the knot out by going through the hole and just applying a bit of pressure. And we're done with the binding. This took some time. To further secure the signature, I created this DIY book press where I glue the signatures together to create extra support. The bottom sketchbook with the red threads is a video coming soon. I leave them for about an hour and I take them out carefully with my X-Acto knife. Next is the most exciting part, the hardcover. I used this cardboard that I bought a while ago and I cut it a bit larger than the sketchbook, just so it is not exactly the dimension of the sketchbook. This is a round corner cutter tool. It basically cuts the corner rounded. Unfortunately, the cardboard is a bit too thick to cut, so I just mark it with the tool and cut it with my X-Acto knife. The paper though, cut perfectly. Just make sure that everything fits and it's perfect. For the fabric, I chose the tote bag fabric, you know, the fabric they use to make tote bags, and I cut it roughly to the size of the whole cover. I used my laptop as a light table and I traced the design onto the fabric. The front cover will have an embroidery that says "Ana wa ana wa ana," which translates to me and me and me. As this is a personal journal, I figured that we are all like 3-part human beings, mind, body, and soul, and I wanted to reflect that in the front cover. I don't know if this makes sense to any of you, but it does to me. Honestly, embroidering on a cozy night with a YouTube video is like meditation. Don't stress too much about the mistakes. Flaws makes it look handmade, and flawless makes it look machine-made. It's getting late. I will finish it tomorrow. And I took it to the cafe next day with me and embroidered with company of friends, coffee, and my red heart brush. It's finally done. I don't know how much it took me, but not too long. The lines will disappear in 3, 2, 1. I use a pen that disappears when exposed to high temperatures. All is left to do is to glue everything together. We need a glue, obviously, and a brush. One piece of advice: don't go crazy with the glue. It will look very messy in the front. I go through the front with my hands and the help of my bone folder to make sure everything is seamless. And I do the same for the back cover. Also, don't go crazy with the glue. Trust me, I learned the hard way. For the spine, I always add a thin paper just to give some support for the fabric. All you need to do is cut the extra edges and cut the corners just like I showed you. Now, apply some glue and fold the excess fabric. Now, I will show you how I do the round edges. I cut the excess fabric with scissors and I cut through it just like so, and glue the individual parts together. That way, it will create a perfect round edge. Isn't it much better than a corner edge? I like the rounded edge more. I know that they are not in style and they were very 70s and 80s, but I like rounded edges. They look cleaner. Okay, this is optional, but I like to add a bookmark, so I choose this black ribbon and cut it to the edge and then glue it to the spine. It's very easy. Now to glue everything together, I just applied a very thin layer of glue on the first page and just attached the hardcover to it. And just do the same process for the back cover. I actually added the glue on the hardcover that time. I think it works better. And here you have it, a finished bound journal. To start this journal on a good note, I decided to take the first page very seriously. I've been reading a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Particularly in Habit 2, the author kept mentioning a mission statement. So I went to the website he mentioned and I took this questionnaire to create a mission statement. I highly recommend you check out this website. The author mentioned that a mission statement doesn't have to be a paragraph or a list of goals. It could be anything. It could be a song, it could be a drawing, and this is what I decided to do in my first page. Finally, I decided to frame the things that are important to me, my goals, along with my mission statement. You know, when you get into someone's home, you see the pictures of their loved ones framed on the wall. Similarly, as I enter my journal, I would love to see the things that matter to me framed. It's like they're all hanged on the entrance wall of my journal. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you got something out of it or got inspired to do your own journal. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!